Hey, 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 good looking. You want to see what we have cooking today in my kitchen? Well, grab a hold of that vine, swing onto my kitchen, and let's get cooking. Good looking. Today, I want to sit there and show each and every one of you just how easy, yeah, I said easy, making yogurt can be. So, grab a hold of this vine, and let's get cooking. Good looking. Now, I've made yogurt with my grandma, my mother, my aunts. I have made it with my 4 adult children. I have made it with my grandchildren. And now we're going to be making it with you. Now, I'm not going to be making it in a yogurt maker. I'm not going to be making it in my Instant Pot. I'm not going to be making it in the crock pot. And I'm not going to be making it on the stove top. Today, we're going to use my jam maker, and we're going to be jamming out with Fabio. So let's get started. Now let's dive right into this recipe here. I'm going to be doing it in, you know it, our jam and jelly maker. So we're going to be jamming out with Fabio. So I'm going to take the cover off, and I'm going to sit there and simply put in 1 gallon. Whoa! Sorry about that. We're going to put in 1 gallon of milk. We're going to go ahead, put in our unflavored Knox gelatin. I already have it all pre-measured out. Then we're going to be adding our powdered milk, and this is for just extra protein. Now, you do not have to add the next ingredient. This is optional to you. Now, I suggest if you're going to be using a lot of your yogurt here for a sour cream substitute, do not add the next ingredient. Leave it out. But if you're going to be using it for yogurt, I would sweeten up your yogurt a little bit. So I'm going to be adding the next ingredient. Now, if you don't want to sit there and add the sugar, you can use agave nectar. There's a whole bunch of different sweeteners that you can use out there. Now, I'm going to put my cover on, and I'm going to come down here and push the jam button, and I think I'm just going to run with the jam button with the 21 minutes, and now we're going to push enter. Now, this is very important. While we're waiting, I want to sit there and talk about what our starter yogurt should have in it. Because if it does not have this in it, your starter's just not going to work. These are the 6 live active cultures that I want you to make sure that your yogurt starter has in it. Because if it doesn't have these in it, your yogurt just isn't going to work out. Okay, we have it all on our jam cycle. Now I want you to go and grab an internal temperature gauge. And what we're basically wanting to do is we're going to be wanting to bring our yogurt temperature all up in our jam and jelly maker up to 180 degrees. You don't want to go much higher than that, because if you go any higher than that, we're just destroying the bacteria and all that goodness that we're trying to make into yogurt. So please, 180. Okay, we have about a minute left over, and I'm just going to take a reading of what the temperature is. We're about at 144, and I told you we want to get up to 180. Well, I'm going to have to allow my jam and jelly maker to go through a cool down period, and as soon as it goes through the cool down period, we'll be able to sit there and put it on another jam cycle. Well, it went through the cool off period, so I'm going to run it through another jam cycle. So hit the jam button and hit the enter button. And I'll see you in another 21. Now, keep a close eye on the internal temp. I'm at 179, so I think I am gonna, oh, and I just went to 180. That's where we want to be. So now I'm gonna allow this to cool down. Now we're gonna allow this to cool down to 115 or to 110 degrees. But in the meantime, we're gonna sit there and take some of this out, and we're going to put it in a bowl because we're going to be adding the live active cultures to what's in this little bowl that we're ladling some of this milk mixture. So I'm going to go ahead and let that cool down to about 110 before we go ahead and add the yogurt to what we just poured off into the bowl. Let's go ahead and take another temp. But what we have ladled into our bowl here is cool enough for us to add our live cultures. So go ahead, open up one of your containers of yogurt and be sure to measure out the proper amount that you're going to be needing. Now we're just going to sit there and simply mix this all together, and then when this over here has cooled down to the temperature that we want it to be at, the 115 to the 110 range, we'll be adding what's here in this little bowl. But not before then. You will kill off all the live cultures. Let's take another internal reading. Remember, we want to go down and have it at 110 to 115. We're at 117. All right. We reached 115. Now let's go ahead and add the yogurt cultures into the milk. I'm going to give the yogurt cultures one last little zhuzh around in the bowl with a spoon before I do add it. Let's go ahead, add that all back in. Now take our spoon and mix all the cultures into the milk mixture here. And then we're going to ladle it into our jars. Okay. Alright, I have them both into big old jars, and now I'm gonna sit there and bring out a big old beach blanket or a beach towel, or if you're lucky enough to have like the electric lamp blanket, go ahead, grab that. That will work just as well. Or if you have an electric heating pad, that will work too. Okay, now I have my electric lap blanket, and I'm just gonna wrap these bad boys all up inside of my electric lap blanket. We're getting them all snug as a bug in a rug. So, okay, I'm gonna set this on the low setting, and I'm gonna have to come back periodically because I believe after 3 hours, this automatically shuts itself off. And I was right, mine shuts off every 3 hours, so I'm just gonna have to sit there and come back in 2 more times and put it on low, and after that it's good to go, and then in the fridge it goes. And well, after I took it all out of the electric heated lap blanket of mine, I put it in the refrigerator overnight, and it is the next morning, and we're gonna sit there and come here, and I'm gonna sit there and show you one way I would have this homemade yogurt. As you see, it's all nice and thickened up. And now I'm just gonna come in here. Now this is how I like my yogurt. I like the Greek yogurt. I like it nice and thick because I like to sit there and mix the yogurt that I make up with all the homemade jams and whatnot that I do can, like my elderberry syrup here. Now I would simply just take the cover off, and I'm gonna go get another spoon. Hold on. Now, this is very important. If you want to keep making your homemade yogurt, now you're going to have to sit there and put the desired amount that you need to make and continue making your homemade yogurt, and go ahead and put that off in the freezer, and next time you want to make homemade yogurt, go ahead, pull your starter yogurt here out of the freezer and use that to make your next batch of yogurt. And I would just take a couple spoonfuls of the elderberry syrup, and I would just mix it in with my homemade yogurt. And that's how easy it is to flavor up your homemade yogurt. Now, let's go ahead and give this a taste test. For one, there is such creaminess in homemade yogurt. And with that elderberry syrup on top, I may be prejudiced and such, but it's a really good addition to the homemade yogurt. Folks, I'm going to have to let you go because I cannot contain myself. I'm really enjoying my homemade yogurt, so If you like what you saw here today, please be sure to give me a big old thumbs up. If you're not subscribed yet to my channel, go ahead, hit that subscribe button, tap that little bell. That way you'll be notified every time I do put out a new video. And most of all, I want to thank each and every one of you for taking the time to watch my video here.